and thank you for joining this presentation from AI hype to order accuracy, fixing what actually happens in your kitchen. My name is Mark Baker. I'm a product manager with Plainsight, a company that will help you solve these operational issues. So first, let's talk about the problem. So at Plainsight, we had a couple of our staff went out and performed informal surveys, asking folks what were their experiences ordering from their favorite quick service restaurants. And we had pretty consistent results. I imagine these also are familiar to you, right? Some of these consisted of items missing or the wrong items being delivered. The experience being poor. The food was delivered late or incomplete or smashed up. Or just straight wrong, right? So ordering a burger with no onions, but getting it loaded with onions. And these are, everybody has the stories that they're familiar with when ordering online, especially through the delivery services, and not getting the order that they wanted and having a poor experience. This reflects badly, not just on the delivery, but on the restaurant that they're ordering from, right? And in each of these cases, the wrong items, missing items, these are issues that can be addressed with operational insight delivered through a camera and using Plainsight technologies. So it's not just where the items are created. Again, our experience working with vendors, working with restaurants in this space, is that these systems are breaking down at the last kind of mile, the last part of the operation. And so this is where items are being bagged and collected. And again, I'm sure you're familiar with these issues, right? But this is often where it breaks down. Nothing to do necessarily with what goes on in the kitchen, but an important part, a vital part of the overall operations that leads to the customer experience. And what does this mean for you? Well, some of the surveys show that around 12% have one order accuracy issue, right? So that's roughly 1 in 8. And we hear lots of different numbers in this space, right? If we were to go on what the customers that are being interviewed or surveyed say, it's probably higher than that. But let's take that 12%, the 1 in 8, right? That have an order accuracy issue. Even with that cost, right, it's somewhere going to be between $8 to $15 to remake it, perhaps even more if they're doing a credit card chargeback, right, to get that done, to remake. But the really expensive part is the customers that have a poor experience, right? They get the wrong meal, or they're missing an item, or feel it's delivered late, or whatever. They just don't come back. That's a customer. That's a lifetime value customer. Or that 61% of them are not going to come back, and you won't know about it because whilst some make very loud complaints online, a lot don't. They'll just go somewhere else next time. This is the problem that you need to fix. Now, at the NRIS show in Chicago in May, we saw a lot of companies talking about AI. In fact, on many, many booths there, customers were leading with their AI, and they were talking about how you can use AI to predict your demand models, right? To help with your ordering of food and ordering of stock. How you can use AI to generate menus and marketing, reach more customers. How you can use AI in the kitchen, right? With some really interesting technologies about fryers and flippers and things like this to help. Voice ordering agents to automate people making reservations through the phone or online, etc. And then computer vision, right? But none of these is really addressing the customer experience problems related to order accuracy. To address those, your team actually needs to know, are the orders going out correctly? Why is the kitchen falling behind, right? Where are the bottlenecks that are causing the choke points in the system that are then leading to inaccuracies coming into the process? Is the delivery of this consistent with your brand standards, right? What you stand for? Are they getting the key components in place, the things that people expect when they dine with you every time? And then the simple things, did the driver get the right bag, right, associated with the order? Or how long has that bag been waiting, right, to ensure that the food's not going to turn up to the customer cold? So we've been working with some customers in this space, and we see that orders typically are breaking in three places. The first is they're built incorrectly, right? So they're missing a modifier, right? That may be onions or no onions, or cheese or no cheese, or no sauce or no pickles, right? And again, sometimes we see that when under pressure, items will be substituted, right? And so these errors that happen at build time early in the process, right, can be hard, very hard to catch further down the line because of occlusion, because of the way that the meals are put together, right? It's very hard to see there's missing sauce on the bottom of the burger bun after the patty and the cheese and the salads has all been placed on it. We see it being built late. Again, we see pressures in the line when items are stacking up. That's where shortcuts creep in, right? That's where people start to do things because they don't want to get behind. They're under pressure. They want customers to get their food as quickly as possible. And that's where you see those quality drifts. The moment you start to see poor behavior, compromises, shortcuts, sneaking in to that process, then you're seeing your overall baseline starting to drop. That's going in the wrong direction. And then in handoff, we've already discussed some of this, but this is where you're getting the right order, wrong bag, right bag, wrong driver. Items missing from a multi-bag order because they didn't get put in the right bag, right? And so even if you've got steps 1 and 2 sorted with through process, that last 30 seconds, as the bag's getting put together and handed off to the driver, that's where things can go wrong too. And the customers, they don't care. They just see an order that's not right. So what does it cost you? Well, as we already said, right, the refund. If you ask for a refund, the refund is possibly the cheapest part, right? And it depends on your typical ticket price, but somewhere between $8 to $15 is what it's going to cost you to refund the order, right? But if you're having to pay like a credit card chargeback, or you're in dispute with the delivery company, right, that's going to get more expensive, somewhere between $10 to $25. But then 3 to 5 times the value, right, will be if you're having to remake the cost multiplier once a refund is processed. But the biggest number isn't the refund, as we know, right? It's losing customers, right? Accurate orders give a 93% customer satisfaction rate. That's good, right? Could be better, of course, but it's good. But 48% when orders are inaccurate, a 45-point swing just by getting the order right. And it shouldn't be that hard, right? And of course, it's not just that one order that's the cost. It's the lifetime value of that customer, right? 60 to 70% of customers will cut their return, the probability that they will return. It can, of course, lead to bad reviews, which then gives a drag on potentially other customers, and the kind of stuff that you have to deal with and social media blows up because of a poor experience. Managers don't want to be spending their time investigating these and trying to fix the source when it's extremely hard for them to do something that could have happened hours, days, even weeks ago. If you look at your numbers, right, a small chain of restaurants, if you're looking at 500 orders per store per day, you know, and 5% order accuracy issue, that would be low based on, you know, less than half of what surveys and data suggests. You're still looking at potentially nearly $10 million, $9.1 million of impact hitting up here. And that multiplies up, right? As you get towards 750 stores, you're looking at big numbers, 2,000 plus stores. I mean, it's very hard to consider, right? But you know it's a big number. You multiply those values out, just the order accuracy of 1 in every 8 orders, right? The drag that you'll see, the loss of lifetime customers, it's a big number, right? So this is definitely something that, 1, you may be aware of, hopefully you're aware of, but 2, you can do something about. So let's take a look at a customer that we've worked with in the past. They have a healthy eating QSR. Their problem was that the manual end-of-line checks were inconsistent, labor-intensive, looking at what's inside a salad bowl, ensuring does that match with the order, right? especially in peak periods, right? No margin for rework because they don't have to go and remake the bowl or find the missing ingredients. And errors surface too late, right? Often, especially with those pre-lunchtime orders where it get built, customer would come in and collect the order and go. Customer would only discover that their order was incomplete or incorrect when they got back to their office or wherever they were going to choose to eat their lunch. And so by that point, they're not going to go back. They're just going to suffer the poor experience. They may ask for a refund. They may comment next time they go in. A lot of the time, they don't. So this was a problem that they were trying to address. How do we improve the order accuracy to ensure that customers are getting better experience every time? The solution that we went with was their Plainsight food identification. So using Plainsight, vision AI technology that takes video input, analyzes it with AI to analyze, is the order that's been constructed, put together within the salad bowl, does that match what the customer's ordered? The outcome there was improved order accuracy at the point of execution, fewer refunds and remakes, especially with those delivery orders or the pre-orders that came in through their online application. There's more consistent peak hour throughput, leading to stronger customer trust and brand reliability. So visibility within 1 week. A lot of the customers that when we start working with them, actually they're basing their order accuracy data on the complaints that they get, the customer feedback they get. But they will readily acknowledge that's probably only a percentage, relatively small percentage of the customers that experience an order accuracy issue. And so what we aim to do is give visibility onto order accuracy very quickly, typically within 1 week. But as we go through, right, we'll see that get the baseline visibility before you start to change things. And then the second part, identify the failure patterns, right? Is this at certain times? Is it on certain shifts? Is it do with certain meals or orders that are being prepared? And then within 30 days, use the data that's been collected to improve the accuracy, right? So, and that could be changes to process. It could be validating orders in the same way we just saw on the very simple demonstration. But the great news is that this is using existing staff, right? There's no going to be a headcount added. It's really just validating using video and AI to ensure that what should be done is being done. So the good news is that once you have a Plainsight AI system within your restaurant, within your chain, with that one system and the existing cameras, we can then start to expand the use cases. So again, order accuracy is a great place to start. It's very, let's say it's very, but it's easy to then see how it can create an impact, how have an impact, order accuracy leading to greater customer satisfaction and ultimately your bottom line. But there's other areas, of course, in the operations of your restaurant, you can also use our technology to take advantage of. So, for example, PPE and uniform compliance. We can tell if operators or staff in the kitchen are wearing the right PPE. Are they hand washing and following the right hygiene procedures, right? Can you see where there's potential for cross contacts or allergen contamination? So by not using perhaps the right cutting stations or the right preparation processes. Cleaning and sanitation, pick up shelf dwell time is a big one, actually, we do get asked about. So seeing how long bags have been waiting, for example, on the shelf for waiting collection, to know that if something has gone beyond a certain period, right, a certain time period, right, it can't go out because at that point there could be it could be cold, right? So there's going to be quality issues, but also, if it's been there a long time, you start to have concerns about the quality of the product, the quality experience. So again, at NRIS, we saw a lot of companies offering AI solutions for different parts of the process, right? And that was, some were using AI to help manage stock inventory. Some using AI to manage other parts of the process, right? Tracking portion control. But really, as a chain or as a QSR, you want to avoid having different solutions, different vendors for every part. Because overall, you want to have a full picture of your operations, right? Single databases to interrogate, consistent platforms, consistent APIs to integrate with your other back office systems, and the flexibility to use the models you need across all of the use cases. And that's what Plainsight offers. We're able to optimize for each of the use cases, thanks to the open architecture that we provide and the flexibility we have within the tooling to optimize for your use cases. So the challenge for you is, can you be the person within your organization that solves it? And indeed, we've seen, again, our experience with some customers that we talk to is actually they don't want to dive too deeply into this problem. They see it as a can of worms, the order accuracy issue, right? Because it may expose some truth they don't want to see. As a result, people step back from that. Or in the case of Domino's here, they try and invest millions, right? Developing custom hardware. They're a big company, they have a lot of money, right? They created a custom pizza scanner, 850 stores over a year to develop, right? Costing an awful lot of money, right? But you can do this with commodity hardware, right? Simple hardware within the restaurant using commodity cameras. Put that together, and we can give you data that will give you insight, in turn that will give you solutions to the problems that you see. We can do that in weeks, not in years. Using cameras that you maybe already own, but commodity cameras, weeks to deploy with Plainsight experts to help you get it up and running. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this. If you'd like to learn more, then please do come and check out Plainsight, plainsight.ai. And I'll leave you with this. The cameras that you need may well already be there. You can quantify some of the cost today, but you don't know the true cost to your business of getting things wrong. But you can be the person to solve it. So please do come in. Now, you can't check in at the booth because the show is over, but please do come and check Plainsight, plainsight.ai, and we can help you start to solve some of these problems.